Hi, and welcome to CityBeat. I'm your host, Beej, Recreation Coordinator with Lewiston Parks and Recreation. And our first guest today is our Parks and Rec Director, Tim Barker. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks for having me here, Beej.
Absolutely. I'm glad you could come back and make time for CityBeat. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
So let's get right to it. If you could talk to viewers and tell viewers, what does Parks and Rec really entail?
Well, there's some misconceptions about what all we do within our department. A lot of what we do is behind the scenes. A lot of people think we're just parks or we are just rec programming and what even rec programming is. But there's a lot entailed in what we do within our department. We do maintain over 20 parks within the city, over 300 manicured acreage. That doesn't include our community park site, which is 170 acres up there that we're looking to develop. Recreation programs anywhere between youth, early childhood.
Hold it. Sorry, guys. What happened? Oh,
Take two.
we had back.
Hi, and welcome to CityBeat. I'm your host, Beej, Recreation Coordinator with Lewiston Parks and Recreation. And today our first guest is our Parks and Rec Director, Tim Barker. Welcome back, Tim. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back on the show.
Absolutely, appreciate it. So let's jump right into it. Talk to viewers about what Parks and Rec entails. What's the entire compass?
Well, Parks and Recreation involves a broad range of programming, activities, and a lot of behind-the-scenes type work within our city. We tend to be a little bit of the catch-all sometimes as far as what is available and what needs to be done within the community, and so we kind of are the ones that typically step forward and try to take a lead on some things. We are obviously parks. We have over 20 maintained parks within our community. We run recreation programs. Special events is really an area that people are starting to get to know us from. Different activities that we run throughout the year. Programming from youth all the way through senior activities, including a senior nutrition program. We are contracted through Community Action Partnership to run a senior nutrition program that includes both home-delivered meals, about 150 meals a day we deliver to houses, and then we also have a congregate meal site, which is on-site at the community center. Other areas, obviously administration is where I work within, bean counter, and making sure everything runs smoothly. Building maintenance is an area that a lot of people don't realize that we maintain and we work within. We maintain over 16 different facilities within the city, so that includes anything from electrician, HVAC work, carpentry type things, and then also our general custodial work within our city facilities and the safety of our employees. Pools. We have 2 seasonal outdoor pools. Everybody's pretty familiar with Orchards Pool. Was built in 1969, only 50-meter pool in the area within about 100 miles. And then we have Burt Lips Pool, which is downtown, built in 1943. So we've got 2 very aged pools that we're always constantly when we flip them on, we hope they work every year, but they've been working, and it's a big advantage for our community, especially with the pricing structure we're able to utilize. Cemetery. This is an area a lot of people don't realize that Parks and Recreation oversees, is the Normal Hill Cemetery. And the cemetery is going to be taking some new changes coming forward. We're going out for a master plan, through a master planning process that I'll talk about a little bit later. But so cemetery is an area. We've been managing Normal Hill Cemetery since 1888. So it's been around for a number of years. And then we manage the contract of Bryden Canyon Golf Course. So we contract out the course to Golf Fun, Inc., but the course is a city facility.
Cool.
So a lot of different things.
Yeah. Talk to the audience also about some areas that you want to focus and have identified to develop or improve, et cetera, for the next few years.
Okay. Probably our major focus that we're going to have in the next few years is on really getting a solid plan and getting development starting to occur at the community park site, which is up on Warner behind Ziggy's and Potlatch Credit Union. We have a total of about 310 acres that's jointly owned. It's called the Tri-Partnership between LCSC, Lewiston School District, and the city. Currently, we're the only ones that are looking towards doing any development at the site. The property was purchased back in 2003 from as a Tri-Partnership from a local farm owner. The city at that point was looking to try and find a location to centralize a lot of our athletic facilities. Another thing a lot of people don't realize within our department is majority of our parks and fields are on land that's leased from other organizations. So we really don't have a whole lot of our own amenities on land that's city-owned. A lot of that includes core property that's along the river, or airport property where Airport Park and Hathaway Ball Field are at. So a lot of our goal now is trying to move that plan forward. We're looking towards completing a pathway system up there. We have an area for BMX riders to play around and some dirt up there. So we've got a few different amenities that have been developed up there, but we're really trying to get that push to move forward in development of that site. We've got two separate fourplex for youth baseball, softball, and then fast pitch, and then also a fourplex for adult softball, multiple soccer fields, basketball courts. So we've got a lot of plans of activities and things we want to have happen up there. But obviously to be able to do that, we need some money. And so what we're looking at is trying to figure out what our next step is in the development stage should be up there.
So you talked a little bit about different parts of community park, whether the ball fields, BMX area. Can you talk about some of the partnerships that you're going to have to create, or you've created already, to be able to build those things?
Sure. Obviously, we're going to always look at our joint ownership of the property as partners if they're interested in doing any development up there, including LCSC and the school district. But really, some of the theory behind some of the fields up there are a youth baseball complex. We're working closely with the Lewiston Little League to help them in providing the land for them to be able to develop. But what the real goal is that we'll provide access to the property, and then once we provide that access, then they'll really do the fundraising to develop the complex and then maintain it. So it'll be on city property, but it'll be their true facility that they've developed.
Fantastic. How immediate are you looking to push the start and the completion of the project up at Community Park?
Well, currently, obviously, we're about 10 years after we purchased the property. We've done a few different things. We've had a water line put in. This summer, we're going to be putting the sewer line in. Parts of roadways have been developed, so we need to get those completed further. Really, we're in the infrastructure stage right now, trying to get the groundwork and access to different parts of the facility, so then we can really get these community groups to start developing their properties. But we're really wanting to push. It's with the new city council on, we have a number of members of that council that are really interested in this site, along with the city manager and obviously our department. So we've got some good momentum going forward, and so we're going to be looking to the council this next year to see if we can reinstitute some funding that had been cut from us the last couple years to help in other areas of the city in the past, we've received about $100,000 a year from the general fund through the budget process to use as matching funds for grants that we apply for. So trying to get those reserves built back up so then we can really get some development occurring. A lot of these facilities are really going to be community-driven type facilities. We've looked at different options as far as, let's say for the adult complex, a synthetic infield, so then there's little to no maintenance that occurs there. Obviously there's more cost in that, but also looking towards local partners as far as contractors to really come in and help us out and get this done.
So that's the long term, or hopefully not too long, but what are some immediate needs or immediate things that you and staff are looking to develop right now?
Well, we've got a number of different things that we're obviously always looking at doing. There's a few different ordinances that we're looking at. Currently, this last fall, we passed a new ordinance regarding skate park, and so it really, we've had posted rules in the past, but this legitimizes those rules, and when it becomes an ordinance, that means it's enforceable. And so that's been something that we're trying to get out and publicize more. It's available on our website if anybody's interested as far as what the new rules are going to look like. We're looking at doing voluntary policies regarding smoking in our parks as well. We don't, at this point, plan to ban smoking in parks. We would just we're working with the North Central Idaho Health District to develop signage and notification for community members, and just would really like people, if they choose to smoke in a park, to remove themselves from a playground or a ball field area. So that's something that we'll be pushing this spring. We'll be discussing that coming up soon with the City Council, informing them on the process that we've gone through for that. Also, an area, much like when we developed a skate park, that we felt once you build it, they will come type of mentality is with dog parks. We don't have a dog park in the valley. We're obviously a very outdoor-oriented community. We do have leash laws, but we'd love to be able to provide initially one area and potentially multiple areas where pet owners can all go to a central location that's fenced in, possibly a small dog area, a large dog area, but allow their pets to just roam freely within our parks. And so what we're looking at is identifying a location first in North Lewiston. We've been working with the Army Corps of Engineers to develop that. And Brandon Johnson, who works for me, is heading up that effort and forming a committee, but we'll be taking that out to the public and really publicizing that soon. And I think that's a amenity that people will really enjoy, especially realistically, you can use it 12 months a year here, which is great.
Yeah, that Brandon Johnson guy is pretty cool. Anyways, if we go backwards a little bit, can you talk about the process of the skate park ordinance regarding scooters specifically,
sure,
and how it was created and reasons why it was created?
Sure, and that's obviously, I mean, there's a number of rules that were in place with the ordinance as it came forward, and the rule that is most highly discussed currently is obviously the fact that scooters are no longer allowed at the skate park. The skate park, when it was originally developed, was designed by a skate park building firm that primarily focuses on skateboard use, but they also incorporated and really with the development and the management of when they built the infrastructure for that, built it so it could accommodate bicycles. The one form of transportation that we didn't expect to receive as much increase when the skate park was developed was scooter use, and primarily within the 3 to 8 or 9-year-old age group. So what's occurred in the last 3 years since the skate park was built, it was opened up just shy of 3 years ago from now, was the safety of those riders that are on scooters. Scooters is a form of transportation that's easy. You and I could even pick it up within a couple hours, even us, and feel somewhat comfortable and confident with being on a scooter. Where skateboard takes a little bit more skill and is a longer learning process. And what we found is the younger age kids that have been out at the skate park at anywhere between 40 and 60 pounds typically don't really abide by or have the etiquette that's needed to be in a facility that's more of an intermediate type advanced facility. And so we've had quite a few near misses. We've had some collisions, quite a few collisions. And what we're really trying to do is we're not trying to be anti-scooter. We're just trying to educate and have a better use for the groups that need to be on that site. We are looking as a Parks and Rec Commission is the group that this ordinance started with. They want to develop another location that would be more of a beginner intermediate site that would be more geared towards scooter use. Would be a little bit smaller, a lot less cost, but something that we think is attainable within the next couple of years. And so what happened was the ordinance went through the commission and then went on to city council, and with an ordinance you have to have 3 separate readings, so they were all open to the public. And so that was about a 6-week process. And so we had individuals come in and to the meetings and be in favor or against the ordinance. If anybody would still like to comment, I mean, we're always open as a city to receive comments from public. The city's website is one location that individuals, if they want to make comments, can go to, or attending a Parks and Rec Commission meeting or a city council meeting.
Can you share with viewers where they can find that information? Because I think that's really important, that if you have an opinion or you have a voice, is to be able to go to those Parks and Rec Commission meetings or to city council meetings so you can use your voice, because I promise if there's enough people that have a question or a concern and they go to city council or a commission meeting, any of the commissions that are public meetings throughout the city, you're going to be heard. So it's just the matter of going to those things, so taking that extra effort and going to those things. So how can citizens and viewers find that information?
Well, all the information, obviously, phone book would have phone numbers, contact information, but our website at cityoflewiston.org is where you can really find that info. Within our website, within Parks and Recreation, we do have the ordinance on there, and we try to put as much information as we can. But off the main web page for the city, you can find links to the schedules for when those meetings happen. Parks and Rec Commission meets every 3rd Wednesday of the month at the Community Center at 5 p.m. And then the City Council meets the 2nd and 4th Mondays at 6 p.m. at the LCSC Library. So they're very consistent meetings. Cool.
So our time is all up. I really want to thank you for coming in and talking about Parks and Rec as a department and talking about ordinances and how things work and things that are going to be developed in the future. So thank you for your time, Tim. Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. On behalf of my guest, Tim Barker, and everybody here, I'll see you next time on City Beat.